Okay, welcome back guys, and today we've got the Walther PPK black Melonite coating, whatever you want to call it, unboxing. Now Walther just came out with these just a couple years ago at this point. They finally got a factory here in America set up, so they're able to do the PPK instead of the PPKS again. And it's not a licensed one like a Smith & Wesson or an Inner Arms. It's really made by Walther in Arizona. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get inside the box and see what all we get. Okay, so when you first open the box, you're greeted with this kind of Pelican case, almost Walther branded case. We'll get to that in just a second. And then if you open this up, you get kind of just your normal handgun stuff. You got Walther lock, you've got a safety pamphlet if you need to send anything back to Walther, NRA membership, and a PPK book. And right there actually is a stainless steel version, which also looks really good. But let's go ahead and get to what you actually care about, which is the gun itself and the box it's in. Let's put all that up. And here is the box you get. I believe all Walther handguns come in this. This was a little bit of a shock to me. I've never had a Walther before, but usually, you know, with a Ruger or whatever, you get a cardboard box and, you know, they actually come with a lot of stuff. But this is a nice box. I wasn't expecting that. So if we open this up, here we got the gun. Let's go ahead and take the magazine out here and clear it. You can see there's nothing in there. So we've got the gun itself, and as you can see there, it's also branded there. We've got flat bottom magazine, and we've got a pinky extender magazine. There, got the Walther name on it, Cal 380 ACP. So let's put those to the side and let's get looking at the gun itself. Alright, so with the gun out, we can put this to the side and we can take a look at the PPK. This one has actually been a lot harder to get than the stainless steel version. I think they're doing it a stainless production and then this and then stainless. I think we're in the second run of stainless, therefore there's only been one run of the Melonite, which was a while ago now. So stainless ones you can find any day of the week. These you kind of have to hunt for. But as you can see, I think it's worth the hunting for, because it's not a blue. It's not as pretty as those original ones, and they're royal blue. It's Melonite, and that's a kind of coating used on. It's almost like an anodizing. It's a different way to finish the steel. It's not like a Cerakote where it feels plasticky. I don't know if it'll pick up, but there we go. There's a little bit. You can see the lines in the steel, so you're touching real cold steel. But it's all finished that way. It's got the black plastic grips that is just famous on PPKs. So let's go ahead and start going over some of the features. Okay, so starting from the front here, this one's in 380. All the new ones are in 380, except they make 22 ones, but they're completely different. You've got the front sight there is a red dot. Rear sight here is a red dot in the middle, so when you line it up, there's kind of what you're going to be expecting. I don't guess that's going to focus, but you line up the two red dots vertically, and there's your sight picture. Right here, they've been doing this since PPKs were made. As you can see, there's some nice knurling on there, and the reason for that is whenever you're aiming down the sights, this isn't going to glare up at you. You know, it's not high polish. The sun isn't going to get in your eyes through there. So that's a very nicely done thing there. It's a wave kind of pattern. If we look on the side here, we got Walther, Karl Walther, Waffenfabrik. That just means gun manufacturer basically. It's in Ulm. Model PPK, not a PPKS, not a PP, none of those. It's a real PPK. 9mm Kurs or 380 ACP. This is the first one made in America that doesn't say under license of, or it actually has Walther. Then on the other side the markings say we got Walther and their banner. Walther Arms Inc., Fort Smith, Arizona, which is where their factory is. Barrels marked 380 ACP, of course. And then other than that, right here is, you're going to get that on all new modern guns. I happen to not really like how it looks, but there's nothing you can really do about that. Got the Walther banner, of course, on the black grips. Okay, and I think that does it for markings. So let's go ahead and keep going. Okay, and the PPK, of course, is a double action, single action gun. So we can cock it here and it will fire like that. Or we can cock it and then use the safety here as a decocker. Okay, so you decock it, trigger's dead, put it back on, and then you're in double action, ready for a pull. The trigger on this, it's not exactly made for staging. I think they're really intending on you to just pull back pretty fast, because if you stage, it's a very weird trigger. There's no real room to stage, and you're gonna get real shaky if you try to do that. And they also got rid of the cuts that were made to be able to grip onto that, so I think they're really intended for the first shot just to kind of be jerked back. We've got magazine release, of course, there. And then we've got the hammer, and right here is actually a chamber indicator. So if there were one in the chamber right now, that would stick out enough. It'd be, you know, there a couple millimeters back. And then an interesting thing about that is if we have the hammer down, there's a cut right here. So if you're aiming down the sights, you can actually look there and tell real quick if there's going to be one in there or not. So that's a good little design choice that's been there since the beginning of PPKs. Keep going back. Here they've chosen to go, if you know anything about PPKs, the Smith & Wesson made guns were actually modified a little bit. They were given a longer beaver tail, because of course a lot of people had complained about slide bite and their hands riding up and everything like that. It does kind of throw off the proportions of the gun a little bit. If I were to have an original one here, you could definitely see that it wasn't like that from the beginning. You can get over it. I don't very much really care for it, but it's not going to keep me from owning this, you know. But just know that it is a little bigger looking than it probably should be looking. Let's go ahead and start disassembling this, and we'll go a little bit more into the mechanics of it, and then we'll wrap up later. Okay, so to disassemble the PPK, it's a very simple process. It's of course just blowback, so here's how it happens. You cock the hammer back. Let's make sure it's empty first. We're empty. You pull down the trigger guard here, and now if you kind of pull it to the side, it can sit there. Sometimes it'll snap up, but I find it's easy if you pull it down and hold it with your finger here, you can keep it down. And then we just take the slide, pull it backwards and up, and you probably recognize that takedown. Pretty much every blowback these days uses that kind of takedown where the barrel's part of the frame. But the PPK was one of the very first to do that, if not the first. I'm not sure if it absolutely was the first to do that, but it was pretty close to it. Back in 1929 it would have been. So now that we're looking into here, it all kind of looks pretty standard for a gun. Not really much to go over. There's the barrel. Mine's a little dirty right now because I have used it before. We got the feeding ramp, everything pretty normal. Okay. Then in the slide, once again, it's pretty much what you expect. That little thing sticking out right there is actually the chamber indicator, so if I push it back, that right there is what it would look like if there was one in the chamber. So it's very visible. Take that out, and that's it as far as disassembly. You can get to anything you need. Isn't really much need more to go into, so let's get it back together real quick. Sometimes it gets stuck, so it might get stuck on us. There we go. No, it did pretty good, and then we're good. So actually, let's go ahead and take this out and do some shooting with it, and I'll kind of give some opinions of it, and we'll see how it does out there. Alright, if you're interested, all I've got is just normal ball ammo, 95 grain. I've got it in the round nose, and I've also got it in the flat nose. So that's all I'm going to be using. Okay, we got the mag in here, so put the safety on. And we got one in the chamber, as you can see. So let's get shooting. Okay, there's that one done. Just drop the mag out, put the next one in. You're good. Okay, I'm gonna try to get a good angle shooting like this. I've never done this before, so it might not work. We'll go ahead and try. Alright, as you can see I did pretty badly, but that's no fault of the gun, that's on me. And then one thing I forgot to mention, there's no actual slide release. So when you have a mag in there that's full, you can just pull back and it goes. But if the mag's empty, you have to take it out. And then you have to pull back and let go. So that's been the Walther PPK in black or Melonite, whichever one you want to call it. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.